Hello, this is Mrs. Ward, and I'm going to go over the review worksheets for section 7.1 and 7.2, which is solving systems using graphing, substitution, and elimination. So the first two on the review worksheet asks you to solve the system by graphing, round your answer to the nearest tenth. So you're going to pick up your calculator. Remember, add a graphings page. Remember, we learned to graph using relations instead of functions. So I'm going to hit Menu, go to the number 3, which says Graph Entry Edit, and I'm going to use the relations key. The first one is 3x plus y is equal to 19. And the second equation is going to be 4x. Remember, you're typing these in exactly the way you see them. Whoops, forgot to hit tab. Negative 5 plus 2y. And when I do that, I see that they intersect, but I can't really see where they intersect. I don't think my I'm going to do a test. Menu, analyze, intersection. I know they intersect somewhere in here. And the calculator will move it for me, so I do see. If I didn't like it that way, then I would keep on resuming till I saw it. So I'm going to have 3.3 and 9.1. So that's going to be the answer for the first one. Putting that one on here. Okay, the next one. We'll fix that later. So I added another page so I could have a fresh plain paper, and I hit relation again. And now I'm going to type in x squared plus y squared is equal to 9, and I'm expecting a circle, and I get one. I'm going to hit tab, and I'm going to do 2x minus y is equal to 5. And I have two places where it intersects, so I'm going to have to find both places. So I'm going to hit Menu, Analyze, Intersection, and it'll say first quarter, second quarter on this particular one, so I'm going to put the dot somewhere, second quarter. As long as I hover over long enough to pick up that intersection point, I'm good. I have to do the exact same thing for the other one. It's going to ask for first corner, second corner, and those are going to be my two intersection points. So I have both those graphs. This would be one ordered pair. This would be the other ordered pair. It says round to the nearest tenth, so this one is going to be 2.9, 0.8, and this other one's going to be 1.1, negative 2.8. Over here, those are already rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, number 2, solve each system of equations by substitution or elimination. A is set up very nicely to do elimination. So I'm going to do elimination since I already have x is equal to something. I'm going to take this 5 plus 2y and substitute it in for that x. I'm going to have 2 times the quantity of 5 plus 2y plus 3y is equal to negative 3. I'm going to distribute my 2, and I'm going to have 10 plus 4y plus 3y is equal to negative 3. Combining like terms, I'm going to have 7y plus 10 is equal to negative 3. Subtract 10 from both sides, so that'll be negative 13, and y is equal to negative 13 sevenths. Not pretty, but it works. To find x, I'm going to put y back into this one, so I'm going to have x is equal to 5 plus 2 times y, which is negative 13 over 7. So x is equal to 5 plus a negative 26 over 7. And when I write this, I'm going to get 9 sevenths. And your calculator will do that for you. So my final order answer is 9 sevenths, negative 13 sevenths. Okay, part B, I can do substitution or elimination. I think this one's actually going to be easy to do elimination. I see that I can multiply the top equation by negative 2 to eliminate the y's. So I'm going to have negative 4x, oh, I'm sorry, positive 2. I want opposites. I was going to do the same. So I'm going to have 4x plus 6y, and then 2 times 38 is going to be 76. And then I'm going to have 3x minus 6y is equal to negative 48. When I add, I'm going to have 7x is equal to 28. Divide both sides by 7, and x is equal to 4. I can choose either equation to substitute in 4 for x. I'm going to choose the top equation. So I'm going to say 2 times x, which I just said was 4, plus 3y is equal to 38. So this will be 8 plus 3y is equal to 38. Subtract 8 from both sides, and y will end up equaling 10. So my ordered pair is 4, 10. C is one with a square, so this one probably actually going to be easier to do substitution since I have y equal to something, so I'm going to put it in for this y. But I'm going to have to be careful because I have that minus sign, so I'm going to put that y in parentheses, 2x plus 1 is equal to 7. That's going to remind me to distribute this negative sign because the negative sign is kind of like a coefficient. I cannot forget to distribute that. So I'm going to have x squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 1 is equal to 7. Combining like terms, so this will be a plus 2x, and bringing the 7 over since it's quadratic is equal to 0. I'm going to think of my factors of negative 8 that add up to 2, and I am going to decide that I'm going to use 4 and negative 2. So x plus 4, x minus 2, that will give me the middle term of positive 2. So x is equal to negative 4, x is equal to positive 2. So I'm going to have two places where this graph intersects, which means I'm going to have to find 2 points. I'm going to solve into this equation here to find my y. So y is equal to 2x, which I just said was negative 4, plus 1. So y is equal to negative 8 plus 1. Y is equal to negative 7. So one ordered pair is going to be negative 4 and negative 7. Then y is equal to 2 plus 1. Y is equal to 4 plus 1. Y is equal to 5. My other ordered pair is going to be 2, 5. So I have two solutions because I'm probably going to have a parabola in a line. D, let's do elimination. Let's multiply this by negative. So here I'm going to have 2x squared plus y is equal to 3. And I left a gap on purpose because here I'm going to have a negative x. So I'm going to put negative x in like a column by itself. Minus y is equal to negative 4. And when I do that, I'm going to have 2x squared minus x. The y's will go away, and this is equal to negative 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides since it's quadratic. So I'm going to have 2x squared minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. I don't think it can product sum. The product is 2, the sum is negative 1. So I am going to do quadratic formula. So when I did the quadratic formula, this is the opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all that stuff. I get that under here is negative 7, which means my discriminant is negative, which means there are no solutions. And so there are no solutions to the system. And if I wanted to verify that, and I probably would on a test or a quiz, I would pick it up and I would graph these two, and what should happen is they should not intersect. Number 3, a total of $46,000 is invested in corporate bonds. One pays 6.75% interest, and the other one pays 7.25% simple interest, and interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. The investor wants an annual interest income of $3,245 from the investment. What is the most that can be invested at 6.75? And so if you want at least $3,245, you're only going to be able to invest so much at 6.75, and then the rest is going to have to be invested at 7.25 because you make more money at 7.25. So I have to have two equations because I'm going to have two unknowns. And I'm going to say, let's say I say x is equal to the amount at 6.75%. And let's say I say y is the amount of money that I have invested at 7.25%. So I'm going to have two equations. One's just going to deal with the amount of money that I have. So I have x dollars in one account and Y dollars in another account, and together they add up to my total, which is at $46,000. The next line is going to deal with the interest. So to find the interest that I'm making on the amount of money that's in this account that's making 6.75, I'm going to take 0.0675 because that's changing that percent to a decimal times X. And then the amount of money that I'm going to make on the money that's at the 7.25 is going to be 0.0725Y. And the amount of interest I want is at 3,245. Now I'm going to take a step back and try and explain this to you. Which one's more, X or 0.075 times X? Well, it should make sense to you that X is more money. That's going to be the total amount. This 0.0675 is just the amount of interest that I'm going to make. So this top line is worth more, so that's why it's equal to the 46,000, because that's the bigger number. To solve this, I usually always solve these with elimination because I have control of the situation when I do that. I'm going to just multiply this by, let's just go with the first one, a negative 0.0675. And if I do that, that'll be negative 0.0675x minus 0.0675y. And when I take negative 675 times that $46,000, I'm going to get negative $3,105. When I add these, the x's will equal 0 because that's why I multiplied by that negative 0.6075. I could have multiplied by negative 0.0725 and I would eliminate my y. It doesn't matter which one you eliminate. When I add this one plus this one, and I'm doing this all on my calculator, I'm going to get positive 0.005y. And when I subtract these, I get 140. Divide both sides by 0.005. And I find out that y is equal to 28,000. So going up here, y is the amount invested at 7.25, so that's going to be $28,000 that I have to invest at 7.25%. To find how much is left, I'm going to put it back into this equation, say x plus 28,000 is equal to 46,000. Subtract 28,000 from both sides, and I get x is equal to 18,000. So the most that I can invest at 6% is the 18,000. If I invest any more at the 6.75%, then I'm not going to make the 3,245. I could invest less at 6.75%. I could invest, say, like $10,000 and $36,000 at the 7.25%, and I'm going to make more than the 3,245. This just tells me if I invest 18,000 at 6.75% and 28,000 at 7.25%, I'm going to make $3,245. If I want to make more money, I'm going to have to invest more at the higher interest rate. I hope I didn't confuse you, but that's how I do it. Number 4, 2 planes leave Pittsburgh and Cleveland at the same time. Each is going to the other city. So here's Cleveland, and here's Pittsburgh. And you have one plane flying this way, you have one plane flying this way, and somewhere they're going to meet. Somewhere. They're going to pass each other. One plane flies 30 miles per hour faster than the other. Find the airspeed of each plane if the cities are 200 miles apart and the planes pass each other after 55 minutes of flying time. Ooh, okay. So this is 200 miles. One plane flies 30 miles an hour faster, so let's call this x and this x plus 30. Doesn't matter really which one's flying faster. Here's the problem, though, and it's kind of a problem. They give me 55 miles. So we know I'm Mrs. Ward, and we're drawing my box. And we're saying distance is equal to rate times time. So this will be the plane going from Cleveland to Pittsburgh. And this will be the plane going from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. So one is going R. And I said Cleveland to Pittsburgh was going R. And then the one going from Pittsburgh to Cleveland is going 30 miles faster. And I used an X up there. I really should have used an R. Um, the time is 55 minutes. Oh, that's so bad. And the reason why it's bad is because this is 200 miles. So I need to change that 55 minutes to miles per hour. So 55 minutes, and there's 60 minutes in an hour. So I have 11/12 of an hour. Okay, so my time for both is 11/12. 11/12, because they're both flying at the same amount. They leave at the same time, they pass each other, they wave to each other through the windows. So this one is going to be 11/12 times R, and this one's going to be 11/12 times R plus 30. Now, since they have to work together, like this guy might be going, bad picture, but this one might be going, let's say, 110 miles, and this guy's only going 90 because he's going faster, so he should go further. They have to work together. Those two have to add up. So I'm going to take that 11/12 times R plus the 11/12 times R plus 30, and together they should equal that 200 miles. Now, I could suffer through this and deal with those fractions, or I could be intelligent about this and say, I don't like the fractions, so I'm going to multiply everything by 12. When I multiply this by 12, the 12 simplify, and I'm left with 11R. When I multiply this by 12, the 12s will simplify, and I'm left with 11 times that whole quantity. And then 12 times the 200, because I'm going to multiply that, will be 2,400. Now I have a happy existence. I'm going to distribute the 11. And I'm going to subtract the 330 from both sides and combine these two. So I'm going to have 22R is equal to 2,070. Divide both sides by 22. And R is equal to 94.09 miles per hour. So one plane is going, and I solved for R. So this plane is going 94.09 miles per hour, which means this one's going 30 miles faster. So 94 plus 30 is 124.09 miles per hour. So one plane is going 94.09 miles per hour. The other plane is going 124. And that's the review worksheet. If you have any questions, let us know.